presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured. A beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak. Let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to our beautiful choir and, of course, our wonderful cantor and Mark, who lead us in music each week. We are going to continue with the lighting of Shabbat candles, but before we do, Shabbat candles is one of the ways that we welcome in Shabbat, and so I'd like us to take a moment and welcome one another. So if you could turn to the people around you, introduce yourself. If you don't know the people around you, wish one another good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. The readings for the lighting of Shabbat candles is on page 3, and the blessing is on page 2. It's my pleasure to call forward Dana Jacobs-Klasman to please light Shabbat candles for us. If you please are able, if you could rise. English.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
You may be seated as we continue with Lecha Dodi on page 20. You may be seated as we continue with Shalom Aleichem, page 24.
Do it in the key, Mark. It's okay. Do it in the key.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashabet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShabbat, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Shalom, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתך לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מפרח מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השם, מלאכי עליון, מפרח מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Shalom Aleichem is about the angels that accompany us as we enter Shabbat, and it's our hope that angels of peace will accompany us, angels of goodness, and certainly they have come in on the wings of your song. So thank you to our beautiful choir and your wonderful voices, which we've missed so very much. Lovely to have you here tonight. We're going to continue on page 26, Chatzi Kaddish. Please rise if you are able to do so.
יתגדל ויתקדש ברמה, בעלמא תברכרותי וימליך מלכותי, ויכון מכון בית כל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמירה במבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשו לעילוי מן כל ברכתה ושירתו, ושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ויאמרו ברכו את אדוני, המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם
Together on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma poteach sha'arim, ubitvuna mishanei itim, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובכם נחיה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך וכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושילמתם על לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
וגלום יד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גואל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, עמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, עמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו so you may be seated or maybe standing, whatever you. Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת
Shabbat, Lidorata Meritola. Bring you in Badway Israel, bring you in Badway Israel.
Now.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velokei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elokei Abraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Velokei Yaakov, Elokei Sarah, Elokei Rivka, Elokei Rachel, Velokei Leah. המלך הגדול הגיבור וחדורו אל עליון גם מלך חסדים טובים וקודש הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניכם למען שמו בכבוד מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם וזרוע צרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחייך כל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחלקה לחיים בחסד, בחייך כל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו החיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יחללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, חייל הקדוש.
We continue with silent prayer. If you'd like to follow along in the Siddur, you can follow along through page 63. For many of us, illness is on our minds because it touches our lives closely and the lives of those we love. Some of us have illness on our minds because it touches our world and the world that we love. Prayer is not medicine, but it emboldens the heart for the task at hand, gives us courage and clarity. It helps us appreciate the blessings that we only enjoy when we take the time to appreciate them, even when we deal with difficulty, challenge, and pain. In the Beth Am community, as you know, we join together to pray for healing, for those in need of healing, for body, for mind, for soul, and for spirit. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'Sara, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel, may the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are ill. Barry Abrams, Deborah Allison, Cynthia Baylor, Bruce Allen Bell, Jeff Chernow, Sandy Chernow, Stephen M. Cohen, Richard Cousins, Andy Dorfman, Audrey Gelb, Bobby Glaberson, Lou Geddes, Stuart Geddes, Rita Jaffe, Frank Kazarnowitz, Mark Kogan, David Lieberman, Spencer Leibowitz, Stephen Litvak, Amanda McCall, Vagieb Partieli, Harvey Ostroff, Panina Patesh, Bruce Petroff, Steve Porter, Kelly Quagliati, Harav Rachel Bat Shmuel Ufruma, Rebitzer David Rachmiel Ben Sara Valevi, Robert Tornberg, Selma Romoff, Samuel Schloss, Sarah Panina Bat Aryeh Leib Vachaya Bella, Beverly Tisdale, Gail Tomasco, Cass Walsh, Judy Weiss. I invite you to add any names to this list, the names of anyone for whom you're praying for healing tonight. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Actually.
Many of them being Ben Shmuel Yochel B'chai Rachel. Amy Rosenberg.
With hope for healing in our hearts, we join together as one congregation in the singing of Mishabera, page 253.
May the souls of strength who bless the ones before
each of us find renewal in the days to come. This week in the Torah, we reach the end of of the book of Breshit, the book of Genesis. And, this evening, I blessed my children before we had Shabbat dinner. Maybe some of you do the same. And I've noticed that both when I do that and when I bless children on the bima, sometimes couples and adults, but often I'm doing it for children. I'm doing it whether it's consecration or a bar or bat mitzvah. And I do the formulaic blessing, the priestly benediction, may God bless you and keep you. I do the Hebrew. The rabbis be like, knock out the Hebrew. And whenever I do it, though, I always play with the translation a little bit. Because, first of all, it's like a weird thing to translate. It's not totally clear. There's not like one agreed upon translation. Some of the ways that the words work together, there's some debate. But also, when it comes right down to it, like what is it that we're wanting for the person that we're blessing? What is it that we're wanting for our children? And so instead of holding my feet to the fire about direct translation, I do the Hebrew. It's our tradition to do the Hebrew, but I often think, okay, just say what it is you want to bless your children with. Usually it's connected a little bit to the Hebrew, but it's more ad-lib than that. And, when we bless our children, God willing, there'll be many opportunities to do that. But here in our Torah portion, we see that Jacob is having his last opportunity to bless his children. And so he's really trying to think very clearly about what it is that he wants to say to each of them. Now, that's all very romantic. But if anybody's ever read these blessings, I know some of you have, they're very difficult to understand. It would be like, my version of I really just want you to have peace and have God in your life and light. That would be my blessing. But Jacob doesn't do that for us. He gives us some very poetic language. And, people struggle to understand what is meant. It's in biblical poetry, so it's not language that we're used to, and it's not necessarily references or motifs that we read in the same way. So I came across an interesting interpretation of the blessing that Jacob gives to Joseph. And I think that it teaches something really important for each of us today. And I want to bring you back to just before the Misha Berach, when we prayed for healing. I mentioned, of course, that our world is very touched by illness right now. And unfortunately, it looks like there's going to be some more of the same, or some more of what it was going forward. It's going to be a rough road. It's going to be hard for a lot of reasons. And, maybe you're like me and, in those moments alone in the car when I'm brushing my teeth, I think, what is it going to take for me to get through, for us to get through this next era? And I don't know the answer. But I do know that spirituality and faith give us an opportunity to find some of what we need in trying times. And so this blessing, if we unpack it a little bit, gives us a message about will and about strength that I think can be instructive and helpful to each of us. Jacob blesses Joseph. He says, this doesn't have vowels. V'yarmemehu v'rabu. They embittered him and fought with him. So this is a very strange way to begin a blessing. Who's they? Maybe it's his brothers, we don't know. Vayistamehu, and they despised him. And who did these things? Ba'alei chitzim, the archers. But his bow was strongly established. Vateshev be'itan kashto. Vayifzu zare yadav, and his arms quivered. Midei avir Yaakov, from the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. Misham Ra'ah Even Yisrael. From there, he shepherded the rock of Israel. Okay, so let's review that. They embittered him and fought with him. This is the blessing. They embittered him and fought with him, and they despised him. And who did these things? The archers. But his bow was strongly established, and his arms quivered from the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. From there, he shepherded the rock of Israel. What do you think that means? Anybody have any notion? I mean, we got a lot of theys and hims, right? So who do we think him is? This is Joseph's blessing. Who do we think him might be? Joseph. Okay, so let's just say him is Joseph. Who's they? Okay, you might think the brothers, right? They're enemies in this scenario. But this is weird because are the brothers archers? We never see them as archers. So, like, okay, it's a metaphor, but archers, like, an arrow, like, it kills, right? You shoot an arrow, it's fast, it lands on its target, and it will kill, I mean, you know, depending on the wound, but it's a killing weapon. But the brothers, did they try to kill him? I mean, they weren't real nice, you know, they weren't like super concerned about his survival, but they didn't kill him, and that wasn't what they were doing. So it's like, why this metaphor? Like, why, I mean, it's poetry. Could have said anything, could have said a lot of things. He said, the archers. So that's weird. Okay, and then it also says, okay, they embittered him by Yimarehu, and they attacked him and struggled with him, Verabu, Vayistamehu, and they despised him, Ba'alei chitzim, the archers. Okay, so here's the thing. This word that they use for despised him, you'd think that would be like, oh yeah, the brothers, they despise him. It's very interesting because the root of that word, the root, which is sin tet mem, vayistamehu, that actually is used very rarely. And when the Torah talks about the brothers and Joseph, most of the time it's a different word, sin'ah, a different word for hatred. There is one time, however, that we do see this word. And the place that we see it is earlier in Genesis, when Jacob himself is coming to blows with his brother Esau. So Satan appears when Jacob steals Esau's blessing, and it describes how Esau felt toward Jacob. So it's not just hatred, it's this seething fury that almost causes you to want to destroy, to kill. Okay, so we have this different usage. Why one might ask if Jacob's going to give a blessing and wants to refer to the brothers, why he would use this word that has to do with that isn't the word that the Torah uses earlier. And it could be because Jacob identifies the nature of what the relationship between the brothers and Joseph formerly as one that he recognizes from his own experience, a seething hatred. And both are situations, interestingly, in which the person or people who are fearful, who have the seething hatred, they have a father who kind of stands in the way of them hurting the person that they're angry at, and that there's a question when that father dies. So when Jacob dies, the brothers want to know, is Joseph going to act with Satan toward us? And they use that word again. And the same thing was with Esau after after Isaac died. So there's this connection that Jacob is trying to intimate to his son Joseph, saying, I've seen this. And we don't know if the brothers reported what they did to Joseph. We're here at the end of Jacob's life, and we don't know if Jacob just intimated it. He just sort of understood it. He's just had a lot of experience with sibling rivalry, and he can read between the lines. We don't know. But he's sharing with Joseph that he feels a connection. But then we have the Ba'alei Chitzim, the archers. And it's interesting. When you have an archer, you think of that person, loosing their arrow, right? And that person, when they loose their arrow, they have a lot of power, right? They have the power to take someone's life. So you think of archers as powerful figures. But it says, "Vateshev ba'itan kashto," but he, singular, he sat with his bow firm. So you have archers who are loosing their arrows, and then you have this other figure just holding his bow. And his arms quivered from the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. Who is holding the bow and not letting go? Who in our story? How is Joseph holding that bow but not letting go? Because the arrows and the bows, they're not about archery. They're about power. When the brothers have the power, they loose their arrows upon their younger brother. But when Joseph has the power to imprison them, to enslave them, to kill them even, he doesn't do it. The strength that it takes to hold back your power when you're filled with righteous rage is remarkable. Ima Shalev, a scholar who I've really enjoyed studying with, he shares, from where did Joseph have this superhuman strength? Midei Avir Yaakov. It was only possible by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. The will to not take revenge was Joseph's, but the strength to hold the bow and not give in, that came from God. It was God saying, if this is what you want, Joseph, if you don't want to shoot, despite all the power that you have as master of Egypt, then I'll help you make that reality. God's powerful hands held Joseph's quivering arms steady and helped him hold back from acting out his anger towards his brothers. Which brings me to this moment and all the challenges that we face in moving through even the day-to-day. We may have the power at times to unleash our fury, our rage, our anger, our frustration, our fear, our loneliness against others. But Joseph received God's strength, not because God said, okay, I'm going to give you strength, but because it began with Joseph's own will to say, I want to hold this in place. I don't want to unleash the terror of this arrow. When is it right for us to unleash? There are moments. But let us not forget that the drama of unleashing those arrows does not make us a hero. Leaning on the strength of that which lies within and beyond, to exercise our will of restraint. That is a hero's path. It is one we are called to in this hour of challenge. Shabbat Shalom. Some challenges are joyful or have their joyful moments and their challenging moments. And one of those is the blessings of marriage. And so we are happy to celebrate those who in our congregation are celebrating a December anniversary. And if you are, we'd love to call you up to Bima for a blessing. And also maybe to tell us a little bit about, when your anniversary is, what kind of cake you're gonna get, that kind of thing. Does anyone have a December anniversary? No? It's a good time, it's a little bit cheaper in December to get married. You don't want to come up? Do you want to tell us when your anniversary is? December 15th. What's your name? Fran. What, can you tell me how many years? 31. Wow, wonderful. Mazel tov. Well, I'm very glad that you said that, because we have a very special song to just follow up our blessing. And we don't get to sing the song. You have a solo in it. No, we don't get to sing the song if there's no anniversary. So I want to just offer this. This is you and the person next to you. What's your name? Cal. Hi. All right. 31 years. That's wonderful. 41. Wait a minute. So it's 31 for her and 41 for you? Interesting. Okay. I'll give you my card. If you could bow your heads. Source of laughter and gladness, let your presence accompany these loving companions as they continue on their unified journey together. Continue to pour love over them, grant them growth, each alone and together. May health and devotion, laughter and understanding abound for them. May they continue to have the strength to share life's sorrows. May their love deepen and flower. Open their hearts to one another, and may their hands be open to family, to friends, to all humanity. And let us say, Amen. A traditional wedding song in honor of your anniversary.
Oh,
continues on
See
page...
how much fun is choir.
It's so much fun. And it's also fun to come on the month of your anniversary.
That's
Yes.
great.
If you have one. Then, if you don't, you can also come on your birthday. That's a different week. We are going to continue on page 282 with Aleinu, and it's my pleasure to call forward the Carls and the Martyrs to open the ark for us as we rise. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth. Our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Here in the Betham community, we remember those who are recently departed, those whose families are in the Shloshim period, the first 30 days of mourning. We remember David Bank, husband of Sandra Bank and father of Mark Bank, Sally Grossman, mother of Barbara Grossman, Jerry Robin, husband of Paula Robin, Jerome Tessler, uncle of Cindy Band, and Philip Weinberg, husband of Terry Weinberg. We link their names to the names of those whose yahrzeits occur this week. Sally Leifer Berend, Charles Barsh, Ethel Ehrlich Bell, Irvin Bender, William Burks, Martin Block, Gail Borish, Samuel Brookstein, Ethel Chesson, Isaac Chodash, Martin H. Cohen, Chaya Elias Shon, Jankelis Elias Shon, Samuel Evantash, Stephen Douglas Frank, Sarah Friedman, Lillian Fulmer, Rosalind Glickman, Frida Gold, Dorothy Goldman, Sarah Leah Grosky, Etta Gross, Pearl Hartman, Charlotte M. Heyman, Irvin Jarrett, Howard Josephs, Benjamin Cass, Abraham Katzman, Anna Kesselman, Jean Kirschbaum, Seymour Kovnat, David Levenberg, Gilbert Lipschitz, Carl Lopatin, Thelma Markovitz, Charles Mosakant, Harry B. Munchnick, Louis Myers, Olga Notas, Bernice Osser, Rosalind Perlman, Philip A. Pinsker, Warren Potter, Ann Rhodes, Rose Richmond, Dorothea Raunick, Charles Raunick, Nathan Shank, Rose Shapiro, Morris Snyder, Evelyn Stern, Tilly Stroh, Thelma Talansky, Ida Tepper, Murray K. Terrace, Murray Tornberg, Albert Ulick, Rose Volisher, Leah Waldman, Judith Wallach, Jonathan Scott Warsaw, Mildred Weber, Henry L. Welsh, Adele Widowski, Bertha Winikoff, Leo Zeisler. And I invite anyone who's gathered here tonight to say aloud the names of anyone for whom you, are thinking of during this, our recitation of Kaddish tonight. If you're at home and you're watching on live stream, please feel free to say aloud the names of anyone for whom you're saying Kaddish tonight.
My cousin, Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, my husband, Kenneth Bloom, was supposed to say his name, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, my dad, Ken Bloom.
Zichronam livracha, may their memories be an abiding blessing as we rise together as one congregation with the words of Kaddish, page 294. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shmei Rabbah, Bialma, Divrach, Rute, Biamlich Malchute, B'chayechon, Uvyomechon, U'b'chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mivarach le'olam la'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei kudisha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom imramav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life for us and all Israel, to which we say, Amen. And may the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Amen. You may be seated. It's my pleasure to call forward Barry Tinkleman to offer some announcements and greetings.
Shabbat Shalom to all of you who are here in the sanctuary tonight, and Shabbat Shalom to all of you who are watching on your screens at home. And happy anniversary to all of our December couples here at Bethel, no matter where you are. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, Rabbi Leib will lead our Torah study of Vayechi, the final chapter in Bereshit. Services will follow at 10. Rhoda Riba will read Torah. Join us on Zoom. You can find the link in today's email. And then Sunday morning at 11, Pirkei Avot class continues on Zoom. This week's class will examine chapter 5, verse 6. You can get the text and the Zoom meeting ID from today's email also. The Sisterhood gift shop will be open this Sunday from 9 to noon. As we approach the end of 2021, I know many of you are making your final charitable contributions for the year. Please remember that your continued financial support has been and is vital in allowing this sacred community to accompany you through the rocky shoals of the coronavirus and beyond. You can also help our congregation supply meals for our less fortunate neighbors around the world. Your donation to our partner organization, Rise Against Hunger, will provide 7,500 meals. You can go directly to the website by scanning this QR code on your phone, or you can call the office to make your contribution. Our next two Friday night Erev Shabbat services will be available only on Zoom. They will not be on the website, they will not be on Facebook, they will not be on YouTube. You can get the YouTube meeting ID and password from your email that you got today, and it will be repeated over the weeks. Just remember that our building will be closed, and you should come here. Shabbat is wherever you are, and you can join us at 6 o'clock, both Friday evenings on your Zoom screens. Finally, we are aware of continuing developments of the Omicron variant of COVID-19. As has been our practice since March of 2020, we continue to monitor the situation and adjust our policies as needed. The safety and well-being of our congregants always drives the clergy, office staff, and lay leaders of Old York Road Temple-Beth. And as this is the final service from the sanctuary this year, I'd like to extend my personal wishes to all of you here and at home for a happy and a much healthier new year in 2022. Shabbat Shalom, and be excellent to each other.
Thank you, Barry. So the Rise Against Hunger fundraising for these meals is actually not just giving money to this organization. We're actually going to pack these 7,500 meals as a community, physically, ourselves. We have to purchase them. They are 35 cents each, but we want to purchase a lot of them. And we're going to, in May, so we have time to gather all of this money. In May, we're going to actually do a packing event on a Sunday morning. So if you'd like to volunteer, if you'd like to be part of that morning, this QR code will also allow you to sign up for that. It'll be up all year, but the more information we have, the sooner, and you'll be sure to be in part of our distribution of information as we go. So please consider being part of this 75th anniversary mitzvah. Oh, I guess we should say that after our closing song, we'll continue with Kiddush and Motzi in that lobby, in the lobby.
Yep.
We hope you'll join us.
Okay, so we're going to conclude this wonderful service, and I thought that the choir did a beautiful job. You added so much beauty, energy, and harmony to our service. It's really wonderful. So I found a song that is called Chazak, written by Dan Nichols. Why? Because as we were told, tomorrow morning, Jewish people around the world will conclude the first book Torah, Genesis, with the words Chazak, Chazak, Venit Chazek. And so Dan writes this beautiful song that you have the words to. And he says that as we repeat this refrain, be strong and let us strengthen one another, that it tells us how important community is for us. And that, this is for us to feel, secure and feel that we're with people that are, supportive and loving and caring. And so we're going to review the chorus. And the chorus starts with the words, be strong, let us strengthen one another. It's going to repeat 1,000,000 times. So by the time we end, you'll know, the song. So, but can I ask you to get up and let's just do the refrain once. So we'll ask them you to join with us, and then we'll do the song. So Chazak, Chazak, Venit Chazek. Just the refrain first. Mm-hmm. And one. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong and let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Okay, now you're going to join with us. So just be strong and let us strengthen one another. Let's go. And one. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Okay, we're ready. And I have two soloists. Dana is going to, Kazman to begin verse 1, and Paul will continue with verse 2, and then everyone together on verse 3. Is it on? The mic? Yes? Yes. Okay, good luck. Yes? Yes. Okay.
We have come from near and far to raise our voice in song. And the more we join in the refrain, the more we feel strong. Chazak, Chazak, Venit Chazek.
There is a power in this place and time. It shapes the rest of our lives. For when we turn each year, we find a truth we can't deny.
Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong and let us celebrate our lives. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak, Venit Chazek. Chazak, Chazak, Venit Chazek. As we sing, we link ourselves to those who came before. And we're one with all those yet to come, a strength that will endure. Strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong and let us celebrate our lives. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong and let us celebrate our lives. Be strong and let us strengthen one another.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you so much to our choir for bringing such a beautiful, sacred element to our sacred evening. It's really, really special to have your voices and all of the labor that goes into doing this together. Please join us for Kiddush and Motzi and socializing.